My name is Amber Reed, R-E-I-D, birthday 12/27/90. I'm turning 32, but like I'm almost positive my like mental age, like my brain is stuck at 17. I'm actually starving, so okay, yes, I troll. Whatever, Trollin has entered the chat. I'm totally fine with a clickbait title because you guys know I love me a clickbait title. You're not paying attention to your health, you don't care about your health, you don't care about your body, you want to die, you could have ate healthy, you chose not to, do you really need to go on vacation, you buy health insurance instead. I just don't want to hear it.
No one cares!
Grüße aus Deutschland, greetings from Germany on this Sunday morning. Destiny has posted a video, not a live stream, and it's 48 minutes long, and I'm just gonna do what I did with Amber's live stream yesterday. I'm just gonna react to it and put it up. I'm not gonna edit out any dead time, any arms, or any let's see. Yeah, because it's just way faster. So let's go.
Hey guys, so...
Hey, somebody sounds motivated.
This is not an ideal setup, but I'm in my bed and I have some laundry I have to do. This is probably the last little bit I'm going to read out of this notebook just because it's so much to sit and watch these like compilation videos and everything. And I'm just basically, after me and Dana get together and are basically living together, it's pretty much all from memory anyway. Like it's not going to be a point of me watching videos because I'm not going to be mostly in them or surrounded by them. So
mostly from memory. Oh wow. I can see a lot of I don't knows and I can't remember in our future.
We'll start with February of 2017, and I think I've only got February to like most of March in here, and then I'll just go off memory. So this video might include some of 2018, and I might stop at that point, but I don't know.
Why does she like that so much?
Alright, so February 2017. Amberlynn just talks about weight loss a lot, like wanting to lose weight or losing some weight, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's Amber's biggest problem. She should just shut up about it and eat herself to death like she's doing anyway.
She's hanging out with her friends a lot, going with Charla and what have you, and I'm just doing my own thing with Dana. Like, we're still living together at this point. I'm just doing my own thing, she's doing her own thing. I was hanging out with Dana, like, when me and her first started, like, actually dating, so, like, and maybe even a little bit before, I don't know. But me and Dana started dating February 13th, so it wasn't very long into February. After me and Dana started dating, though, I do know that I had to help her and her mom out with getting to and from work. I think most of them they had a way to work. I was usually driving them home, which I was taking Dana home anyway at night, and we were just hanging out a little bit. But I was still going home, sometimes staying the night at her house, but I was mostly still going home to the apartment. And then on the weekends, I would stay with Dana. Like, Friday night, after work, go home with her and just be there till Sunday. And on Sundays, Amberlynn would have, like, this whole thing planned out with what she wanted me and her to do, whether that be going to the movies, grocery shopping, what have you.
This is after the breakup and Destiny being in a relationship with somebody new. This is only another display of how ignorant and desperate Amber is.
And at one point, we got a Costco membership because I was tired of her buying just like the smallest little bitty bits of things just so I'd have to take her shopping weekly. I was like, why do you have to grocery shop weekly? Why can't you do at least 2 weeks? Like, why does it have to be weekly? Because sometimes I would have plans and I would have to circulate myself around what Amberlynn needed to do, and it was just kind of annoying. And I thought the Costco membership would help. It didn't.
Of course not, because Amber didn't like it.
And then I wrote, you know, the weekly shopping, all that. At this point, me and Dana were still talking, I guess, when I got the Costco membership. We weren't dating yet, but I know that we were still hanging out a lot. We were going on, like, some small dates before work, hanging out after work, whatever. The situation that happened with Charla, and Amber Lynn driving by Dana's house when I was hanging out with her, it doesn't matter what me and Dana were doing in there. That was still very, like, not called for. But basically, Dana was very upset with that, too. That day, I remember that day, I don't know why Charlotte didn't work. I don't think Charlotte ever got moved to morning shift at that job. I think she was literally just calling out to hang out with Amber Lynn sometimes. But Amber Lynn was like, oh, me and Charlotte want to hang out today. Can you just drop me off at her house? And then just get me after you're done hanging out with Dana. You know, after work. Because, you know, I had to work. So I was like, yeah, that'll work. So, you know, I take her to Charlotte's, go to work, do work, and then I take Dana home, and we're just, you know, just trying to hang out, whatever. I want to say we were dating at this point, though, but I don't know. I just know it was brought up in the compilation video, and the compilation videos are kind of, they're not exactly in order, because Amber Lynn uploaded weird. But, you know, me and Dana...
Wait, in the compilation videos, you're watching them on reaction channels. Why are you saying that that's... Amber did not upload them in a chronological order. Okay, I get it.
Things went where they went, and, you know, I was just busy, obviously, and my phone was in the living room. We were in the bedroom. And when we came back out, I want to say Amber Lynn had Snapchatted me a picture of my car in Dana's parking lot, Dana's driveway.
That is so psychotic. Oh my gosh. That is psychological warfare.
And all that. And
in my books, because it's an intrusion of Destiny's privacy.
And it more so upset me because, well, Amber Lynn wanted me to come get her after I got done hanging out with Dana because Charla had said that she was not going to have either the gas or didn't want to drive that late to take her home because it was like a 30-minute commute. Which was, I didn't really care, you know. I just figured I'd get done when I got done and I would pick Amber Lynn up and so be it. Well, I guess to Amber Lynn, I was taking too long, but Charla went out of her way to drive her past Dana's house and all the way back to her own house, but she couldn't drive Amber Lynn home. It really made me mad because where Dana lived and where Charla lived was probably about the same distance, maybe a little bit less. But in the time it took her to drive there and back, it probably would have used the same gas than it would have been to take Amber Lynn home.
Herself,
so it made me really mad.
Yeah.
I explained all that.
That is so idiotic, but it's all stemming from the fact that maybe when you're in a relationship and you don't have the feelings for your spouse anymore, then maybe you should try to rekindle that or end the relationship and get out of that house and not still live with a person, have a relationship with another person, and be completely oblivious to the fact that maybe Amber has some mental disorders and emotional disorders that makes it impossible for her to act like, you know, she has common sense. So it's not surprising. It's not painful, but it's exhausting to twist my brain to understand how they got in certain situations based on what wrong decision they made.
Like I said, me and Dana started.
But that's how we learn. You know, that's how we learn in life. Only these folks, that whole group of obese women there in Kentucky or all over the United States, doesn't seem to learn from their mistakes.
We were dating on February 13th, 2017, on Valentine's Day. Now, we all know Valentine's Day was a mess for Amber Lynn. The day...
Oh, because she got drunk? Was that the drunken live stream?
Day of Valentine's Day, I knew I had to take Dana the presents I had got her for Valentine's Day. I wanted to, you know, hang out with her before we went to work and give her presents. I got her a giant teddy bear, a Harry Potter cup, a card, and maybe a couple other little things, I don't know. But before I did that, Amberlynn had me get up early, and she asked if I would go get her some wine from the liquor store, and I was like, whatever, and I did. And then she got drunk in a video, and and all that.
Yeah, is where she did the live streams.
I tried to spend a lot of time away from Amberlynn just because things were still kind of weird between us. And
you think?
And
she has people driving her past your house taking pictures. And not your house, Dana's house, with your car in the driveway. Jesus.
I don't know. And Amberlynn was obviously very upset about that. Amberlynn ends up staying at Dana's with me one of the times that I stay there. Because...
yeah, that I didn't get either.
It was... I think it was a Sunday, actually. I had went home on a Sunday from hanging out with Dana. And me and Amberlynn had ran and done a bunch of stuff. And I said... because I think I had got Dana something. I think I had got her, like, a little gift. Or just wanted to see her, grab something. I don't remember if I forgot. Something. I had to go back there. So we were there, and her roommate were drinking. Dana and her roommate. You see her name's Sarah. She's in some of the videos Amberlynn posted after this. We go there, and Amberlynn ends up like, oh, I want to get drunk. Let's drink. It'll be okay. Like, we're all friends here, whatever. And it was a little awkward, but it happened. And then I think we all ended up calling out at work the next day. Because we were all a little hungover, but it was awkward, but I mean, it was still like a good time, whatever. And then after that, that's when Amberlynn's basically like, oh, bring Dana with us when we go to do stuff. So
I would have never
basically,
done that.
It wasn't just like us trying to hang out with Amberlynn, me and Dana. It was me having to help Amberlynn go grocery shopping and do this and do that. Like, she always wanted to run around Lexington. She always wanted to do this. She always wanted to do that.
Why not get a driver's license herself and a car? I do not understand. In yesterday's live stream, she said it again. I didn't drive. Like, it's obvious, like it's a given fact, and not like it is up to her to make sure that she has transportation. That is mainly what I'm talking about when I say Amber is entitled, because she feels that everybody has to drive her around. I would have cured her of that. Because, see, what sense does that make? So Amber does not want that job, so she quits the job. Destiny still works the job. And I assume she worked 5 days a week. I'm assuming it wasn't 6 days a week, but 5. And so she only has 2 days off. And one of those 2 days has to be spent driving Amber around, just because she had been sitting on her butt for 6 days, not being able to go anywhere because she did not want to get the driver's license, and she didn't as a result, didn't buy herself a car. It is absolutely insane, the entitlement on Amber.
And basically, Amberlynn was like, giving me the okay to just bring Dana with us so we could spend time together.
That was wrong. I wouldn't have done that if I had been Destiny.
It's whatever.
We all make our choices, but then we gotta live with the consequences. And that's what all of these women seem to have a problem with.
Dana stayed with me a couple nights at the apartment when she could. Amberlynn babysat Cash. Okay, I was about to explain this when I literally made this video, and Amberlynn went live today and talked about Cash, my dog Cash. His name was Johnny Cash. And I have June Carter. He's right here behind me, a little sassy turd. I had her babysit him a couple times when we were like going to be out, because when we got him, he was supposed to be 6 weeks old. It turned out he had to have only been like 3 or 4 weeks old. And I actually didn't go with him, with Dana and Maggie, her friend, when they went to get him. They just knew that we wanted a boy. We didn't want a girl, because we didn't want to deal with, a dog going in heat, getting them fixed, all that. Like, we just wanted a boy.
But that's what you usually do. You have them fixed, don't you?
I also just prefer boys. I've never had too many girl dogs. I had Twinkie. That's like the only girl dog I've had as an adult. So, and I had a pit bull that was a girl, actually. But she...
Yeah, okay. So Amber spilled tea on you yesterday, which was totally uncalled for, because it was not even while you were in a relationship, and it was also not in response to any of the things that Destiny had said. You know, get with the program, girl. What is the tea?
He was not fixed. She never went in heat with me.
Okay.
I can say that.
Noted.
But Cash, like I said, was very tiny when we got him. I did not go with them. They went out in the middle of nowhere, and they said, we really want a boy. And the only boy they had was, he was like itty bitty. They said compared to the other puppies that were in the basket, he was so tiny. And, sorry.
Oh, are you bored telling these stories, Destiny? Are we an inconvenience for you? Having to make these videos must be hard on you.
Sorry. The guy tried to tell them that he was the runt, basically. And that's what Dana told me, because that's all she knew. Well, when she got him home, his eyes were still kind of milky. Like, his ears were just kind of open. Like, he didn't have any teeth yet. Not even little nubs, just like gums. And I was like, holy crap, they gave you a too young puppy. Like, that baby should not be away from its mom. This is crazy. So, I got puppy formula bottles, anything that I could think we would need for a puppy, like that little. Like, like we had these wipes because sometimes he would go to the bathroom on his own, but you know, like when puppies are first born, they have to be stimulated to go to the bathroom. And so we would have to do that. Like, there was a lot we had to do for this dog. We raised this dog literally from a bottle. He had to have a passy because they're so used to being with their mom and being able to nurse all the time that he really thought he needed his bottle all the time. And we would, like, feed him his bottle till he got really tired and swap it for a passy. I mean, it was literally like raising a baby.
And that was during a time when Dana and Destiny both worked a full-time job. In my books, completely irresponsible.
And that's why Amberlynn had to babysit him, because he needed constant, just everything going on. So,
oh, so Amber, the one that doesn't shower much, that has problems getting her ass up to do the most necessary things in life, was babysitting a dog that actually still needed his mom. Okay, another great decision.
So, and when we were at work, thankfully Dana's roommate was there through all this.
Okay.
She worked night shift, so she had him during the day. So it was
so she never slept? Okay, makes sense.
pretty nice. But eventually he got bigger and didn't need all of that, obviously. Well, we had him for a long time, like basically our whole relationship. I mean, eventually we have to move out of our house, me and Dana. This is getting way ahead of everything, but
how about you just tell us what's relevant in terms of what Amber shared?
Eventually we move out of our house that we first had together in with her friend, and then I moved to Florida and Dana had them. Well, then when she was moving to Florida, we couldn't bring our animals with us. That's also when I had my pit bull. Very hard to find anywhere to live with a pit bull. I was thankful of the house that me and Dana first had together. It was like a rent-to-own type situation. So we could have her, like there wasn't anything against it, but it was going to be very hard. And she was also deaf. The pit bull was. I'm getting off topic on Cash, but I'm just letting you know what happened to my pit bull. Dana had these friends that were like, oh, we have this big farm that's fenced in. She could run literally as far as she ever thought she could. Like, everything was really good. So, you know, that's where she went. We found a loving place for her to go, and it was awesome. But with Cash, we let, Dana's dad wanted to keep her, or him, because he's a real good dog. He is very good like, security kind of dog. Like, he was not gonna let anyone get messed with if he was around. Now, he did not let him be inside. He was chained up outside, and I feel like that's one of the things that led to everything that happens with Cash, was just, he went from being, well, he was 98% of the time outside with us.
I can't, guys. I don't know how much I can watch of this. Dogs being chained up outside. I saw that so often in the States, in New Mexico and in Virginia.
Too, but it was because he wanted to be. Like, it got to the point where he was letting himself out of the house and just staying outside all the time. So, I mean, he loves being outside. And
that's a different thing than being chained up, though.
So when she moved here, that's where he went. And then about a year into living in Florida, we were like, we want Cash down here with us. So my dad's kind of against having a whole other dog come in the house. So I was like, well, I'll see if a friend can watch after him while we try to find a place. Because we didn't plan on moving back to Kentucky. We really didn't. We didn't know what, like, if we knew we were going to move back to Kentucky, we wouldn't have brought him down here, obviously. But he was staying with one friend at first. Then it wasn't working out with their dog. And then he started staying with my friend Haley. And
these poor animals. They depend on the humans to make good decisions for them, and look at what can go wrong.
He did great there. Was around her kids, her smaller kids, never had any issues, was great there. And then we moved back to Kentucky, and he was basically just with us back at her dad's house, because we were kind of staying back and forth between my mom's house and her parents' house. And we had tried to take him to my mom's before, but he's too aggressive with other male dogs, and my mom had a few male dogs. So it just wasn't working. Carter the whole time was with my mom. He was staying with Dana until she moved to Florida, and he just stayed with my mom.
Get to the point, Destiny.
Which she had already had him, but...
Oh, dude. Am I gonna have to fast forward?
Dana kept him for a little while and then gave him back. But, because of the whole thing with Carter trying to get bred with the other dog. I've explained that before.
Yeah, and how your mom was trying to first breed dogs and then get rid of them because she wanted to get pregnant. This whole bunch of people is just very hard to understand.
Well, like I said, we moved back. He stays back and forth with us, whatever. Well, then we don't want a roommate when we start looking for somewhere to live and figuring out job situation. But the girl that we ended up becoming roommates with actually worked at the daycare that we worked at with us. Or she worked at the sister one. And she was like, it'd be really nice if you guys moved in, help out, whatever. So, and we were able to bring Cash. So we had Cash there. And it happened on New Year's Day. New Year's Day 2020 is when this situation happened. We had actually spent New Year's with Amber Lynn and Becky and Eric and Ricky. I don't know if that's the drunk night y'all are talking about. I don't know. But I know that we still were kind of iffy on him because he had shown signs of aggression towards dogs, never people. So we still just kept weary because our roommate had a dog. And I was like, listen, while we're gone, either just let him be outside, let him in, drink water, eat, there's a water bowl outside, whatever. Or keep him in his kennel, or just make sure you're, like, with him. If you're just going to have him out. Just make sure you watch him, because I just didn't want him getting aggressive with her dog, even though it was a female dog. I just didn't want anything happening while we weren't there. And, like I said, we had hung out with Amber Lynn, Becky, Eric, Ricky. Well, Amber Lynn and Becky were like, well, it's been a while since we've been, like, towards where we lived. And she was like, well, what if we go to Olive Garden and all this stuff? So we drove, and we were literally getting into the town that me and Dana were living in. And our roommate starts calling Dana, and she's, like, hysterical. And she says that Cash has just bit her 2-year-old that was also living there. And we try to ask her what happened. Like, is the baby okay? Is it, like, you know, like, what happened? And she did not know. She did not know. She said she didn't see it happen. She wasn't even in the living room. It happened in the kitchen. She was in her bedroom, which was in the very back of the house. The kitchen was at the front of the house. I don't know what happened. There was a lot of iffy things going on with her as a mother as well that was beyond my control.
So the mother of a 2-year-old calls Destiny and says that Destiny's dog has bitten her 2-year-old, but the mother of the 2-year-old didn't see it. So these people let their 2-year-olds run around dogs that they don't know if they're gonna bite another dog or children. This is like some weird parallel dimension.
And I'm not gonna get into all that, but all I knew was that I needed to go and get this baby to the doctor. I didn't know what to do about Cash right then. I just knew that with this happening and taking her to the hospital, that animal control and the health department were going to get involved, and 98% sure Cash was going to have to get put down.
Right.
And it was either us take care of it or someone else.
Right.
So I was like freaking out about that,
Yeah, I didn't get too much into that in my reaction to Amber's live stream, where she revealed all this information completely unnecessarily because it wasn't her story to tell. But I figured as much as that dog having to be put down, depending on how bad the child was hurt.
Baby, I tell Amberlynn and Becky, sorry, you know, like, this is what's going on, whatever. We get to the place and I see the baby. I immediately put her in my car. Like, I was really close to that baby, and I feel really bad for that baby. Like I said, I had some concerns with the way that person...
Okay, so were there bite marks? What? Was she bleeding? Was she screaming? What is going on? These stories are so mind-numbing to listen to.
Was mothering that child, and I still think about her almost every day, and I feel really bad that I never did anything about what was going on with that kid. But she's fine now. I know she is, but I still feel bad about what was going on then.
So did you get stitches?
I mean,
what?
She would go straight to me, like, so I literally got there, got her to the hospital. Dana stayed behind with Cash. Her mom came and got Cash. They took him to her dad's house. I get to the hospital with the baby. She didn't need stitches or anything. I'm not gonna. I have pictures of when it happened, but I'm not gonna show those because it was a.
Yeah, please don't.
A child. But she got bit basically right here, like basically just one bite right here, and it was pretty rough. It was already very bruised. She didn't need stitches though or anything. Cash had his rabies shot, so there wasn't that to worry about. And I did have to fill out forms for the health department and animal control. And I asked them, you know, am I just going to have to put him down? Like, what? And they said, don't do anything until they've came and assessed him, basically. I'm sorry if you hear him snoring. So we have to wait for a phone call, and then we have to wait for an appointment for someone to come out. So it literally happened in like 2 days, though. I got a call while I was at work, I think the next day, just asking where the dog was and, you know, like what was being done right then. And I told him, you know, where he was, and I told them that we hadn't done anything to him, that we weren't home when it happened. Like, they asked us what happened. Because, like I said, I had asked the mom and she didn't know.
And that's already hard to explain. You just leave your dog somewhere where there are children that the dog has never been watched around to see if the dog is hostile.
And I told her all of what I knew, and, you know, she's like, okay, well, someone will be out tomorrow to do it. And I said, okay, well, I have to work, but someone will be there. So Dana's dad waited for this guy the next day. And listen, that Cash was also territorial over just, like, male gender. Like, he didn't like male dogs. He didn't like men. He liked Dana's dad, and that's literally about it. And, like, a couple guy friends that we had. But, like, just random men, no. Was not his cup of tea. Well, Cash was down on a chain, and he let this health department guy walk down to him.
Health department guy? Isn't it animal control?
Rub his belly, scratch his ears, just act like the best dog to this man. And Dana's dad even explained to him, hey man, he doesn't like men, you know, don't try to get too friendly with him. And then he let him do all that. So it was just very surprising. And the guy basically said that he didn't deem Cash dangerous. He said that it was ultimately a family matter because we were all living together when it happened, and it was up to us what we thought should be done about Cash. And when we talked to Dana's dad about it, we were like, well, how can we trust him again in someone's house? Like, we don't know what he's going to do. And he basically just said, don't put him down. Just let him stay here with me, out here on his chain.
Oh God, what an existence.
And a good dog, so he can't get in no trouble. Because none of us wanted to see him put down. It was not an easy decision, but it was also, you have to worry about him biting somebody like that. You can get arrested for that, I believe, or at least charged, and
well, you're responsible for your dog, of course.
Pay medical bills and all of this, and it's another thing to also just let him hurt somebody knowing that he's done it before. Like, that's
right.
a big thing, and it happens. And I know Amber Lynn tried to say, oh, you can retrain dogs. No, you can't.
No, some you really can't.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do for an animal, but try to make it as comfortable as possible. And that's what we thought we did.
And Amber shouldn't have stated her opinion on this topic anyway, because she's a known abuser and pet abuser and neglector.
Well, he was there for a while, and then me and Dana ended up moving out of that roommate's house because, like I said, that happened, a lot going on. We just ended up moving out of there.
Okay.
And then we moved in to our own place, tried to bring Cash there, but there was like this stray dog that walked around, and he was like the neighborhood dog. And when we tried to keep Cash there, he kept trying to get in a fight with this dog. And it's not like Cash could go out there and be by himself and run around anyway. Like, he'd have to be on a runner, but I was just afraid of him being on a runner and then him and this dog getting in a fight and Cash not being able to get away and him getting hurt because this dog was significantly bigger than him. I don't know what kind of dog it was. I want to say he might have been a Pyrenees, but he was a big dog. Okay. Cash was great Pyrenees Australian Shepherd mix. He was a very beautiful dog. Tried to keep him there. So we just kept him down the road at Dana's dad's house. Saw him all the time. Still took him and did everything with him like we would if he lived with us. You know, like, he was good. Well, then we go to move out of... This was in 2020. Like I said. No, Cash got put down. Yeah, he did... That incident happened in 2020, but Cash got put down in 2021. So it's been very recent. Well, 2021, June of 2021, we go to move in with Dana's dad after we come out of the house that we had together. And the day that we're moving into the house, I don't know how, but he gets off of his chain, and my niece, who's 6, is swinging on the swing set that's up by the house, and he's just like, probably like 6 feet away from her, just like at a stance and growling.
Holy shit.
Like he's just waiting for her to do the right move and he's gonna get her. Oh. And he had never done that before to her. Like, he knows those kids. Those kids have always played with him. It was crazy. Well, Dana realizes he's off of his chain. I don't tell, because I'm like moving stuff in and out in the front of the house. This is behind the house. Well, Dana starts yelling for me, telling me that he's off the chain. And, you know, I try to get to Gracie, between him and Gracie, and so does Dana. And Dana tries to get him to get back on his chain, and he kind of growls at her, but then he kind of steps back and realizes who he is. I don't know if he was just, like, confused or what. Gets him back on the chain. Everything's fine. You know, like, nothing happened, but it was scary. Oh. And I felt bad for him. And I just kept going down there trying to love on him, and he let me. And about 2 days later, I went down there and was, like, really good playing with him. I had him all excited. He was still on his chain, though. I didn't want him to get off of it just in case. But I was playing with a stick with him. Like, we were playing with toys. I was loving on him. Like, he was being such a good dog. And I turned around from him when I went to be done playing with him to go back inside because I had got dirty. I was ready to go in. I was ready to eat, you know, whatever. And as soon as I turned around from him, I don't know, like, what happened, but he jumped onto me, like, attacking jumped, scratched my back all up, and was just, like, snarling and trying to get my neck from behind.
Holy smokes.
And, I mean, it was scary. I honestly thought that he was going to get me, but I just barely got out of his, like, chain range. And I went inside and I told Dana that, and I was like, I don't know if it was, like, something I did or, like, what happened, like, that he just snapped. And she tried to go down there, and he tried to snarl and do everything her, would not even let her attempt to play with him, anything.
Wow.
So then we were, like, going back and forth talking about it. We were like, well, what do we do? Like, if no one can go down there and play with him, no one can go down there and love on him, no one can go down there and just be like, come on, Cash, you're going to go with us today and run around and take him to PetSmart, whatever. You know, like, just do normal things with your dog, because we're still doing those things. I was like, if we cannot do these things, he's going to be miserable, not having any attention, not just being on a chain day in and day out. Like, who's going to feed him if no one can go down there and go near him? We were just, like, very concerned, and we were like, it's just no way for an animal to have to live with no human contact, just food and water when you can get it if you let someone near you to feed you, and being tied up all the time. Like, because there was no way we could take him out anywhere. How could we trust him, you know? Like,
No.
it was very emotional for me and Dana. We were both very upset. And Dana's dad ended up putting him down for us. Yes, that means that he used, I don't know how to say that without it getting, like, in trouble on YouTube, but he did it himself. That's all you need to know, really.
Okay.
It was very traumatic. And then shortly after that, we lost our other dog, Piper. And we don't know what happened to Piper. We had her for about a year. She was about to turn 2 years old when we lost her. We lost her in January before me and Dana broke up. And I still don't know what happened to her. We don't know what was wrong with her. She had just got sick and passed. But she was a blue heeler Beagle Basset Hound mix. And she was a pretty dog. And
I can't believe Amber did this. She did not know the background story, as she admitted to it in yesterday's live stream. She just wanted to make Destiny look bad. And I find that disgusting. That's just more that goes on Amber's account of being a bad person.
And Cash and her got along really good, but I don't know. I'm sorry, my legs itch. I got
Yeah, ew. And I can't believe you guys keep getting pets when you're not sure that you're gonna stay somewhere for a few years, you know? Pets are not toys.
So that is what happened with Cash. It wasn't her story to tell. It wasn't her business. She can try to say that she tried to make, like, this big deal about everything when it was going on. I don't remember her making a big deal of everything.
Plus, she's completely immobile. You know, she always talks a big game, but she can't do anything. She has to have people, just like earlier in this video, has to have people drive her around to check on her ex-girlfriend. How pathetic is that? And yeah, while abusing her own, or neglect is abuse, and so she was neglecting her own pets at the same time.
I just remember trying to take care of that baby, try to get everything figured out with the health department. I had a lot of stuff going on when it went down. I don't remember her putting her 2 cents in towards it. And I mean, ultimately, it was up to me and Dana. Like, she can say that she was upset about it and that dogs can be retrained, like I said.
Amber has no idea what she's talking about. She can't even walk her own dog.
Maybe dogs can be retrained, but from my experience, no.
Some are so traumatized. I don't know what the deal with Cash was, though. Some are so traumatized that they can't be retrained.
I mean, I've seen, not seen, but I don't know if it's like a southern thing, if it's like a backwoods thing, but it's pretty, I don't want to say normal, but my whole life I've had to have dogs put down and us just be the ones to do it. I've never done it myself. I know my stepdad's done it. And, you know, Dana's dad had done it. You know, like, to me, I don't know. It was just like one of those things that's normal to me. It might not be normal to some of you guys, but it is to me.
I have no comment on that.
And you can call me an animal killer. But I mean, it's a very traumatic thing that happened.
I mean, it sounds like it could have been prevented because y'all make really irresponsible decisions, not just about your own lives, but about dragging pets into your lives. But under the given circumstances, I guess, Destiny was being kind of responsible. I don't know.
And nothing you guys say like that is going to bother me because I know where I stand with it. So, yeah.
Good for you. As opposed to Amber that always wants to correct the reaction she gets to her words and actions.
That is Cash and everything that happened with him.
Okay. Appreciate it.
You see us in March of 2017 staying in a hotel with Maggie, Sarah, Dana, and then me and Amber Lynn. I don't remember why we did that. I think it was a spur of the moment thing and we just did it, but it was a fun time. And we go to Hooters and we go to Five Below. Amber Lynn talks about getting new furniture. She didn't get new furniture while she was there.
I don't know why they're always talking about going to Five Below as if it's like a big deal. Five Below is, I've been to several in the States, and it's like a cheapo store, you know, where you get cheap Asian stuff like charge cables or all kinds of stuff, right? Decorations, but it's like a Dollar General or a Family Dollar store, you know, a cheapo store.
She goes on a date with Becky in this month. Yes, we did drive her. Like I said, I was really...
She can't even go to her own first dates. She has to have the ex-girlfriend drive her. She has absolutely no pride and wants to seem dainty and gracious on her channel. What a joke.
Angry with Charla. Jax came to stay with me at this point because I had decided to like just basically move in with Dana. And Amber Lynn states in one of those videos that I was offering to still take her everywhere and do those things that she needed to do. I did not offer.
Of course you didn't. Why would you? After the way she had been acting.
I mean, maybe occasionally I did, but most of the time she was just asking if I could. And it was either I say yes or it was just all hell breaking loose.
Yeah, that sounds more plausible than what Amber said.
Like, you know, just never hearing the end of it, so we would just do it.
I would just break off the contact with somebody like that.
I got a new car at this point as well, and I don't have anything written after this. So, March of 2017, shortly after me and Dana got together, her niece ended up having to stay with us. Her youngest niece, she was 2 at the time. And literally the weekend that we ended up having to keep her, like, and not knowing when she would have to go back to her mom, I was taking Dana with me to a family wedding in Tennessee. And it was kind of a short moment, but we took her with us. It was a good time. You know, I had to figure this out, was really, you know, upset with how things had went down with her niece. And I just wanted to make sure that I could do what I needed to do for that little girl, basically. And that's why I got a new car. I had a 2000 Honda Civic. Literally had just hit 100,000 miles. When I got it, it only had 64,000 miles on it. I had that car a long time. It was very reliable. It was awesome, you know, but it just was not up to standards taking care of a small child. So I got a brand new car, put every mile on it, went into debt over this car, and I loved it. And at this point in time, that's when I moved in with Dana, because we we had this child we had to take care of together, and that's one of the reasons that me and Dana kept a friendly relationship after we broke up. It took a little while. It did take a few months before me and Dana were on okay terms after we broke up, but that's the only reason I kept friendly terms with her, is because I still take care of those kids in any way that I can. Like, they are so hype I'm coming for a week. I'm gonna finally see them. Last year when I came for a few days, like I came for like I think 4 or 5 days, and I didn't get to see them. They were in Ohio visiting with Dana and her family, but they are all very excited to see me. But that's one of the reasons I moved in so quickly with Dana, like I said, is because we had to take on raising this child indefinitely and so on and so forth. And I'm not going to get into all of that reasoning and whatnot. We had to fix up the house somewhat. We had to make her a bedroom. We had to do all this stuff and just try to work as well. And eventually her nephew's in there with us for a few months, and I want to say, let me see the rest of 2017. I know I want to say either April or May of 2017, I take Dana to Florida for a weekend. That was a mistake. To try to drive 10 hours and drive back 10 hours in like 2 days, 2.5 days, really.
Does Dana not drive either? Couldn't you have taken turns?
We literally left on a Thursday night after work, got off at like midnight, drove all the way to Florida, and I was surprising everyone. My sister was the only one that knew. Got a really cheap hotel just to sleep. Slept there. And then finally got the okay to meet everyone at Texas Roadhouse. So I met my sister and everybody at Texas Roadhouse, surprised everybody. And that was a Friday. Tried to see a lot of people Saturday, and then did some stuff Sunday, and then had to leave on Sunday and be back so we could work on Monday, and it was just miserable. So, don't do that. Don't try to do a 20-hour road trip, basically.
Okay, so it sounds like you learned from that experience, though. That's good.
20-hour round trip in 2.5 days, because it sucks. Unless it's like, you have to.
Yeah, but it helps when you have somebody you can take turns with, you know, driving. Is Dana not, does she not drive either?
And then we spent the summer working, and that is when all of her nieces and her nephew had to start staying with us. The oldest one, not so much, because she stayed with her dad, but we were having to watch all of them a lot and just really just keep them a lot. We kept the smallest one and her nephew. So
I don't know how much more negativity I can take from this group of people. So apparently some parents were not able to take care of their kids. That's what it sounds like. I'm glad Destiny is not going into detail, but I don't know. I don't know what to say.
The 2-year-old and her nephew the whole summer, like nonstop. Had to go to Ohio to get her nephew, and that's when he started staying with us, actually. He had went up there to stay with her aunt for the summer. She was having surgery, something, and no one could watch him. So we had to go all the way to Ohio and get him. And then when we brought him back, he just essentially had to stay with us. And it wasn't until the second day of school that he ended up not staying with us. And it really upset me because I had made sure he had a room as well. Set him up, took all of them school shopping. Made sure they were set for the year just for him to go and stay with his dad and not see him anymore. And it really sucked. Not having the control of, hey, I don't want this kid right now. Will you just watch him for me, keep him for me, take care of him for me, and then just the kid be taken from you at any time because there's nothing you can do about it legally. It really sucked.
I bet it did.
But it happened a lot. And then that was most of the summer. I want to say maybe we did a few things here and there with Amberlyn and Ricky, but that was Amberlyn and Becky and Ricky and Eric. All of them. I know that she was trying to get along with all of them, you know, like get to know them. And Becky, like she was doing her own thing, so, and I was doing mine. after the summer goes, like I said, he went away and we just had the 2-year-old most of the time. My mom helped watch her a lot. I'm just trying to think of anything that like spectacular or special or meaningful happened. In October of 2017, we both ended up losing our jobs at Source HOV.
Okay, so Amber and her, no, Dana and her, because Amber had already quit that job. Okay.
Amberlyn mentions the name a few times. It's not called that anymore. And we start working at this call center. We're there till January. So, but in that time frame, I want to say not a whole lot happens. You know, it is what it is.
Destiny, it actually sounds like you have no tea at all. I cannot believe you are ruining your credibility by having announced all the hot tea and barely had any. That is sad. That was absolutely not necessary. We have 10 more minutes in this video, and so far, I mean, she could have cleared up that whole cash thing within 2 minutes, but hey.
I get my pit bull between now and that time and then, though. So I didn't have my pit bull very long before we had to find another place for her to stay. But she was really interesting to have. Then in January of 2018, I lose my job. And, yeah, lose my job. Because they had this rule where you couldn't create a pattern of missing with another coworker. It's weird. And Dana had to miss with me one day because I had a UTI so bad I couldn't even drive. So Dana ended up driving me to this hospital to get checked out. And then literally when we went in the next time, they were like, you don't need to return until you get a call from whoever. And then they told us that we had created a pattern of missing together. So this video is getting long though, so I don't want to start too much into 2018, but that's the reason I ended up moving to Florida, is because after we lost our jobs there, we came into some 401k money, and we thought we were going to be okay for a little while, but we ended up moving in with Dana's friend, and we just thought we were going to be okay for a little while until we found another job. And then my sister ended up coming to Kentucky to see somebody, and some drama went down, and she wanted me to go back to Florida with her. And my dad was basically like, I'll help you out with bills until you find a job here, you know, like, just let me help you and all this. And that's why I ended up moving back to Florida in 2018. But I know things got kind of long talking about cash, but that's 2017. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff happened. I just know that year I worked really hard at work and was just trying to basically take care of these kids that I still, like I said, help out now, you know, and make sure that they can always get a hold of me if they need to. They all know that. You know, it was just, there was a lot that happened in the beginning of 2017, and then it got boring. So I'll make another video for 2018 just because this one's getting so long. I still am going to do some live streams and stuff. And then another...
Where you won't be able to answer any questions? I don't know, Destiny. If I was you, I would just go, you know, switch over to just talking about yourself and seeing how many viewers stick to your channel. 'Cause I gotta tell you, and I know it makes no difference in your life, but you are about 1 or 2 boring videos or live streams away from me not clicking on anything on your channel anymore. This is a complete waste of time.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was the whole Dana situation.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that all that much.
So, me and Dana, like I said, had a friendly relationship because of the relationship that we had with her nieces and nephew, like, they literally are still part of my whole world. You know, like, I have so many kids that are just, like, they are basically mine. I treat them as my own. And those 4 and my best friend's 4 are, like, they are mine. I consider them my own. Like, that's why I tried to make sure me and Dana still had a friendly relationship. That's why I wanted to make sure me and Dana did things as adults when we broke up, because there is no reason that I shouldn't have been able to have it done that way in the first place. And not only that, but I wanted to make sure I was still going to have a healthy relationship with these kids, that no one was putting a bad taste in their mouth about me, because they know just as much as I know how much I love them, how much I care for them, and all that. And
that's honorable.
I know my nephew took it really hard when everything happened, because
yeah, okay, guys, I don't think she's going to talk about anything relevant, so I'm going to tap out here. I would actually have 6 more minutes until the end of the video, but I'm going to leave it at that. She did address what Amber tried to, you know, sensationalize by making it sound like she's spilling really hot tea on Destiny, and turns out that is not the case. And so yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you for listening to this. Let me know what you think. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.